Come manifest your best life with 190 Vision.
We are discussing happiness. So how do you make yourself happy? Or what makes you happy? When I think of happiness, I think of just being joyful and grateful for what's happening in, I guess, the present moment. Maybe I'm laughing at something someone said or watching one of those feel-good movies, as they're called. And those kinds of things make me happy. Being with my family, eating, cooking with them, just those are things that make me happy. So how are we able to make sure that we are happy and continue to maintain a happiness of some kind? Hey, Hen,
Yes, ma'am.
what are your thoughts about happiness?
I don't have any thoughts about happiness.
Are you happy?
I would say so, yes.
So what makes you happy?
Well, before we get to that, you're talking about happiness and about being happy. But wouldn't this be something strange to someone that is sad or depressed?
Yes.
So instead of talking about what makes me happy or what makes you happy, I'm wondering if maybe we should be discussing how does someone move out of the state of being sad or depressed and into that area where they're happy or they're joyful.
Well, that makes sense. So what are some ways that individuals can do that?
Well, I'm not a therapist or a counselor, so I don't know. And I'm not writing a book, so it's not a how someone can do that. That would not be my approach at all.
What would your approach be then?
My approach would be, what is it that makes someone sad? Why is it that people are sad? Why is it that people get depressed? Besides maybe chemical imbalances within the body, right? So we're eliminating that, or those things, or hormonal imbalance. Why would someone be unhappy? To me, is the question. So it's not about what makes me happy. It's more about what is it that would make me sad or would cause me to feel sad. Because if you can identify that, then it might be easier to know how to stay happy.
That sounds like a very good approach to finding out what is making you feel opposite of it and then work on changing that. I think that's a great approach.
Are you just saying that because you're married to me?
No,
How do I know that?
you don't.
Exactly. Because see, that could be a very biased opinion there. You say, "Oh, it sounds like a great idea. You are a genius,"
Well,
and then we're married.
If you think about it, though,
Hmm.
here's someone who wants to be happy. They want to experience happiness like maybe what they see in society or on TV or movies, whatever it may be. And you can tell them, oh, you can go climb a mountain, you'll feel happy. You can do this, and then you'll feel happy. But something that we've talked about in other discussions is the fact that you sometimes have to get to what's the root cause. So of you not feeling a certain way or being a certain way. So if you're not happy, I think it would make more sense instead of trying different things to make yourself happy, to do what you're saying. Go back and find out, well, what's making you not happy?
Right? Now, being a beautiful, intelligent woman that you are, I agree with you. And that makes a lot of sense to me. And it's not because we're married.
And that's why I agreed with you.
Because we're
I
married.
think it's a good approach.
Okay. Old, most biased woman. So here's my thought, right?
Uh-huh.
Here's my thought. I believe, and again, this is just my thought. I know the masters have taught us that in life, if we approach it from the standpoint of not having expectations, that then life becomes easier.
Okay.
And that could sound very contradictory to the way we're brought up, right? Because we're told we should have goals, and there's even a saying that goes, "Is it if you don't plan something like you plan to fail?" Some saying like
Right.
that.
Don't plan, you plan to fail.
There we go. Right, and people then, I'd say, misunderstand that for saying that you shouldn't have a plan. By me making the statement, you shouldn't have expectations, they're thinking that means you shouldn't have a plan. And the two don't go together. You see, because you should always have a plan. And you should always have goals because plans are tied to goals, correct?
Hmm. Normally,
The
yes.
thing, the thing is, when we say you shouldn't have expectations, we're not saying that you shouldn't visualize because some people might think that as well. What we're saying is you could do all that. However, be flexible, right? Be versatile, meaning you don't know what the best thing is for you. You don't know what will provide for you the highest good. And that's where you trust some divine source, some maybe your spirit guides, maybe someone, like we say, God, right?
Hmm.
To help you with that. And when you turn it over to that being or that entity, then whatever happens, you know, is for your highest good. So that's what we mean by not having expectations, in the sense that whatever happens, you know that's it. That's for your good. Instead of going, well, I wanted a blue car. Instead, I got a minivan that's white. And because it didn't match your expectations, then of course you feel disappointed.
Hmm.
Do you follow
But
what I'm
then
saying?
I follow what you're saying, but then there are those who would say that, it didn't meet your expectations, but be grateful anyway for what you have received. So that still
Well,
may
that's where we're headed, right? But we're talking about what would make someone sad or what would cause someone to be sad.
not. Okay.
So going back to that, if you notice, the person wished, we'd say wished, visualized, expected a blue car. Instead, the person received a white minivan.
Hmm.
So why is a person disappointed or feeling disappointed?
Because it's not exactly what they wanted.
Hmm. Does that mean that the person's wishes weren't met?
No.
Because after all, they really required or they wanted what? A mode of transportation.
Hmm.
They received a mode of transportation. It just wasn't to their liking. Because of that, they feel disappointed because they didn't get what they wished for, they didn't get what they wanted. So then the question becomes, is there a good reason to feel disappointed or to feel depressed or to feel sad? What do you
Are
have to
you
say about that?
okay?
Hmm.
Let's say, are you asking me to answer? Um, to me, I'd say no. I don't think that's a good reason to allow yourself to feel sad or upset or anything else because you still received what you wanted, which was that mode of transportation. But the way things are in this world, people allow themselves to feel unhappy when they don't get what they're expecting.
Hmm. I like that we put that right now. That's your perspective, right?
Yes.
From your perspective, they should be happy. But from theirs, they should be sad.
Mm-hmm.
Why? They didn't get what they wanted. So, what then do you think, based on this example, causes someone to be sad? And depression is simply a deeper stage of sadness, right?
Mm-hmm.
It gets to the point where you're sad so often that now you feel depressed. So, what, from the example again that I gave, what do you think causes someone to be sad?
I think it's their perspective.
Of what?
Perspective of their expectations is one thing.
Okay. Or it could just be their perspective of any situation that they experience, right? Which goes back to um, the expectation, because you expect anything you're involved with, you're involved with that in that situation because you expect something.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yes.
The only question then becomes, what is your expectation for each situation, and are you versatile enough to see that whatever it is that you experience is for your highest good?
To hear the rest of this story, go to 190 Vision TV on Roku TV or Amazon Fire.